Oh, good evening. Um, I guess it's kind of dark in here. Not as dark as the camera thinks it is. But there's a little more light here. It really is not that dark. Oh well. Anyway, it's Saturday night and um I have to tell the phone to be quiet. Do not disturb. Hi, Tora. Tora says hi to her adoring fans. Tora? Kitty, kitty. There she is. Hi, Patches. Hey, hey. Don't walk across my desk, you rotten kitty cat. Anyway, I just woke up from a nap and it's almost 10 o'clock at night. Ow! No! Patches walks across me with all her claws out. She just drew blood. Hi, Philip Blair. Greetings, fellow humanoid earthling. You're lucky I didn't harm you in any way, Patches. No, you get off me. You do not walk on Mommy with your claws. Don't walk on me at all. I'm trying to stop the bleeding. It's just a little poke in my pinky finger, but it's bleeding like crazy, which is probably good. It won't get infected. Well, at least Patches got the idea. You're sleeping on my bed, on my blankies. Stay there. Yeah, it's still bleeding. Well, hang on while I grab a Band-Aid. I'll be right back. Jeez. Get off me. At least Tora doesn't put her claws out when she walks on me. Patches is the runt of the litter of feral kitties, and she's afraid of falling, but not afraid of clawing Mommy. Ah, come on. Let's get one Band-Aid. Put the rest back in the box. Smokey, you're the worst. Smokey is the most destructive cat I've ever had. Tora, get off of me. I'm trying to put a Band-Aid on my bloody wound. Everyone should have cats. Tora's more civilized. She's an actual pet, even though she is half bobcat. Get off me. Don't you dare. They think there's treats involved just because I got up out of bed and turned on the computer. Evil kitty cats. Okay, oh. I guess I wouldn't make a very professional podcaster. Dropping my crumbled up bloody napkin in front of the camera. There, now my pinky finger's bandaged. I don't know what to talk about. Yes, Patches has scratching post. but that just keeps her claws in good shape. It doesn't make them dull. Let's get a lighter. My cigarette went out while I was taking care of my wound. Don't push your luck, Tora. Cats don't smoke cigarettes. Don't you even think about it, Patches. You stay where you are. Oh, you want say I should get a televangelist to heal me? Um, okay. I don't want some skanky televangelist laying hands on me. Well, some cats will do anything that you tell them not to. Right, Patches? You stay put. Oh, Lord. Um, I'm totally off schedule, but I really needed the nap. Yesterday, I pulled a few weeds, did a load of laundry, and pawed through a stack of boxes. Don't claw my chair. Tora, go claw your scratching post. They've clawed the I'll show you if it'll show up on camera. The scratching post. They've shredded it, see? It's part of their kitty cat condo, which is falling apart because they've broken the legs. So I guess they need a new one. But by the time I buy cat food and cat litter, I can't afford a new scratching post. Right, Tora? At least Tora's a civilized cat, sort of. Hi, Annie Oakley. Anyway, just thought I'd say hello to everyone. Oh, the weather's kind of warm, finally. I think it got up to 70 today, which is around room temperature. They say that room temperature is 72 Fahrenheit. Anyway, Patches is the same age as Tutu and 3C, but she's about half their size, so she's the runt of the litter. Well, I'm in California, Annie Oakley, but I'm in the mountains. I'm at about 5,000 feet, just a little below Lake Arrowhead. Can't afford Lake Arrowhead, so I'm in Crestline. Oh, yes, Philip, Fahrenheit 451. I never actually read it, but I did see the movie. It ran on television once. No, I'm not in Colorado. I'm in Southern California. There's a Crestline, Ohio, too, but no, I'm California born and raised and never managed to escape. Mostly Southern California, but I did spend a miserable summer in Napa during the drought when Lake Berryessa, Northern California's largest natural reservoir, got so low that our tap water was full of red algae. Annie Oakley is new. Hi, Don. I got your message, so I decided to come on live. Oh, Central Valley, Annie. Is that Fresno? Bakersfield? Sacramento? I hope not Sacramento. It is literally built on a swamp. And well, I woke up from my nap, actually around 9:30. Checked messages on my phone and saw that Don commented on YouTube that he was hoping for a live stream. So here I am, half dead, but live. Um, yeah. Close to Modesto. I kind of know where that is. That's closer to San Jose. See, I've driven north as far as southern Oregon around Medford many times back in the day, like in the 1990s. Ah, oh, poor Don was bored. Well, I don't know what to talk about. Like I said, I just woke up. I was listening to an audio book and fell asleep. Ah, Don is also from Pennsylvania. The Quaker state. Philip wants to know, well, maybe Annie got out and looked at the Klamath River. I'm nowhere near it. But apparently, the Klamath River is near that revived Lake Tule in Klamath County. I think of it as up north, but it's really Central California. Oh, I didn't notice the Klamath River going to Medford, Oregon. I went up the 99, not the 5. Oh, we have 2 Pennsylvanians in the chat. That's cool. Yeah, Philip caught the very beginning of the live stream. I'm surprised that YouTube actually notified people. They usually don't. Heck. Taurus being a good girl. That still won't get you treats because the truck isn't bringing us any more treats till Friday. And this is Saturday night. Well, I might get some on Tuesday, but I don't think so. Well, I probably crossed the Klamath River somewhere near Fresno and didn't even notice it. but that was in the 90s. I do remember was I on the 5 or the 99? Must have been the 99. I do remember seeing Shasta when the lake looked like a creek. And then a couple years later, it rained enough that it was a lake again. They actually designed the turnouts so you cannot get a good view of Mount Shasta from a turnout. And my relatives kept asking me about Shasta. So I finally mounted a camera on my dashboard of my car with duct tape and just randomly clicked as I drove along. And it was not a motorized camera. I had to advance the film with my thumb. And I got some pretty good shots of Mount Shasta when it was snow-capped the way it ought to be. Yeah, Shasta's a volcano, you know, but it's kind of overshadowed by Mount Lassen. About 600 years ago, Mount Lassen blew its top, scattered huge boulders all over California. You'll see fields of cattle, and you think, well, God, that dark brown one is just lying down, and then you realize that's a laser. That's what I get for not a laser. That's a boulder the size of a large cow. I looked at the chat, saw Lassen, and said laser instead of cow. Well, yeah, Lassen blew in the 19 teens, but not as much. The one in 600 years ago, approximately, the natives drew a huge rock, a mural on a rock wall near Captain Jack's hideout, showing the mountain blowing its top. Those are petroglyphs. It's on a weird cliff. It's just a cliff, not part of anything. Probably part of Mount Lassen, sitting in the plain next to Captain Jack's hideout, where this Native American war leader made his last stand against the U.S. cavalry. I walked around in Captain Jack's hideout once and took pictures of the petroglyphs till I ran out of film. Don drinks Coors Light and Corona Light. The also Guinness and Yuengling Light. Okay. I think Coors tastes like horse piss. Sorry. Oh, Guinness is his favorite. I've tried Coors, couldn't drink it. Blech. I was able to sip a little of that fake German imported beer. What's it called? Heineken. I couldn't finish one bottle of it, but at least it didn't taste like horse piss. No, my problem is that beer won't stay down. It doesn't like my tummy. Corn syrup in Coors? Oh, I despise limes too. I'm going to have to expand my list of foods I don't eat. I don't like lime. We had a lime tree when I was a child, and I got sick of limes. I do like lemons and oranges. So I don't. Kale is not edible. I don't care what you do to it. It isn't food, and I can't stand the flavor of oregano. And lentils don't have any flavor. It's like eating mud, bitter mud. And now I have to add limes. And during the day, I thought of some food that I despise. What was it? Well, when I was on summer vacation, which meant I was working between college classes, I bought one bottle of Heineken, and just one bottle, and I was disappointed. Yeah, I don't drink beer, although there are ways to cook with beer that are not half bad. You can make beer bread, you can marinate meat in beer, all kinds of things. Ethnic cleansing in California? Uh, well, frankly, California was a Spanish land grant state even into the 1960s when I was growing up. And it was the Spanish land grant families who did not like the Mexicans, the dark skinned people. They're either mixed race or pure native blood. Uh, Don says Pennsylvania is nice because we have no volcanoes, no hurricanes really, hardly any tornadoes and earthquakes. And the thing is, in California, the geography's different. Recently New Jersey had like a 4.7. Well, that'll feel really strong back east. But here in California, a 4.7 is like, was that an earthquake or did a big, heavy truck roll by? Pennsylvania has 4 seasons. Well, California has 4 seasons: spring, summer, and spring. But on the mountain, we have a real winter. I don't even remember smoking a cigarette. Huh. I remember lighting it. Anyway, that's why when Mexico invaded California, they did not manage to hold it very long. Just about 20 years, the Mexican army held California after Spain pulled out of its American colonies. The mostly the Spanish, like Zorro. The Zorro was a Disney, I think, TV series when I was a child. It was Spanish. And the Mexican army had taken over California and he was secretly fighting against them. I got ear itches and tickles from my hair. And head itches. Yeah, there's been more recent movies of Zorro, but recent is a relative concept. And he says VRB. Oh, be right back. Yeah. I wish I had something to say. I gotta quit watching the news. It's frightening. Dawn loves Zorro. Yeah, the movies. Well, I used to, when I was very young, I liked the way he would jump from the side of the hill onto his horse. But nowadays, I think that poor horse, some guy just jumps onto his back. That's gotta hurt. Yes, Don is as mad as hell and he's not gonna take it anymore. Oh, even worse. Now, I don't watch The View, but some of the YouTube channels I watch will play clips from them. I'm like, who wants to listen to a bunch of women arguing, shouting each other down to where you can't even tell what any of them is saying, let alone tell what they're talking about? Oh, Dawn loves the Wild Horses song. Wild, wild horses will ride them someday. Philip, some of the ones in Spanish have English subtitles. I know very little Spanish, so I can't watch. Even like a news conference where they have someone give the speech in Spanish, I really can't understand it. I just know a few words and mostly food. No, I haven't read Cormac McCarthy, although the name sounds familiar. I'm not good at names. Authors, actors, friends of mine, I get their names wrong. But did he write the ones about the Indian police officer, I think in Arizona? one title had something about coyote. I can't even remember the name of the guy. A lot of Western books, Don says. Can't even remember the name of the main character. Coyote Canyon or something. Tora quit. I'm going to do a quick Google search of Cormac McCarthy. Tora quit. Ooh, all kinds of. No, he isn't the guy. Okay. Western novels with okay. I don't know. Okay, so he wrote some good books. I don't think he's the one I'm thinking of. Now, who is the guy? Oh, there was an author of Westerns, mostly set in California. Before the automobile. And there's a lot of actual real history in his books. I don't think I've read Cormac McCarthy. No, not Ralph Compton. What the hiss? Anyway, actually, his writing style is not very good, but the stories are interesting. Louis L'Amour, that's it. Thank you, Angus. And welcome in, Angus and Squalls. And we already have Philip and Dawn and Angela. Hi there. Welcome in. And we have, what's her name? I'm really losing it. Annie Oakley, but she said she'd be right back. Angus's dad knew Louis L'Amour. Larry McMurtry might be the guy I was thinking of earlier. Let me see. I don't know. I read a couple books that he wrote The Last Picture Show? Terms of Endearment. Well, I did see the movie Terms of Endearment. I got it on VHS tape. Well, he wrote Horseman Pass By. I haven't read any of his books. I'm horrible. Now there's an author who wrote westerns about murder mysteries solved by an Indian police officer, a Native American. He's always the hero. And in one of them, there's a skinwalker in one of the novels. But all I can remember is one of the books had the word kite. Tony Hillerman, that's it, Angus. Angus knows everything. He's smart. Tony Hillerman. Yeah. Philip likes the Skinwalker stories. Okay, let's get this thing wet and hope no more cats claw me. I already have an owie on my arm. Because I was carrying a heavy pot and I misjudged the distance and whacked my arm on the door casing hard. Oh, Angus likes the Dick Francis horse mysteries. Never read any of those either. I did read every Black Stallion book I could get my hands on. Walter Farley. I even read the ones about the other guy who had a harness racing horse. So I haven't read a lot of great literature. I have read big portions of the Iliad and the Odyssey. The old Greek myths, the Trojan War, and then Ulysses on his way home. I like stage plays. I really do. Even more than movies. I guess Joseph Conrad. Yeah, we used to assign The Heart of Darkness in literature classes. That movie, a movie based on it. I can't remember the title, but the actor says, I love the smell of napalm in the morning. That movie was based on Heart of Darkness. Apocalypse Now? Yeah, I think that's it. But Joseph Conrad wrote that book, I think, around 1920. A criticism of the Belgian colonies in the Congo. And every other word is the N word. And they have not, the publishers have not changed that word. So you can't assign Heart of Darkness in schools, not even colleges and universities. Angus says Conrad wrote it around 1898 or so. Don says, yeah, we read Heart of Darkness in high school. Let me see if I can get the actual publication date. Oh, there was a film called in 1993. That must be Apocalypse Now. Oh, come on. Originally published 1899. Okay, but oh yeah, Conrad was Polish, so maybe it just didn't get to the United States right away. Anyway, many Europeans wrote in English, French, or German because there weren't enough people who spoke their native languages to sell a book in, let's say, Polish or Hungarian. So they'd write in English, French, or German so they could sell their book. Oh, Dawn loves The Adventures of Tom Sawyer and Huck Finn. I think it's still okay to have school children read Tom Sawyer, but not Huckleberry Finn. And it's a shame. You see, Huck is riding on a river raft with the black man, and it's actually a criticism of how stupid the white people are. But people don't get it, they get offended. Well, Angus, I think Lem read English. I don't think he ever wrote in English. Stanislav Lem. Oh, King Leopold was a real ass, but he did something good. I was hearing about it the other day. I just don't remember what it was. Something to do with the political scene in Europe. But yeah, he was an asshole. Responsible for much of the slaughter in the Congo. Okay, who's saying good night? Dawn is saying good night. Someone, oh, Squalls is off to sleep. Well, thanks for dropping in, Squalls. See ya. Yeah. When I was studying for my degree in foreign language, they made us write, not just read, but also write in German. I didn't get that far in French. I struggled with French. Well, Angus, you don't want to know what the Nazis did with human parts. I do remember one story that this high-ranking woman Nazi saw a prisoner who had a really cool tattoo and had him killed because she wanted his skin made into a lampshade to display the cool tattoo. Yeah. Ugh. Europe is a mess, especially Eastern Europe. Gosh. See, when I've been lying down and sleeping, I cough. All day long, when I'm up and about, I can smoke cigarettes or not, and I don't cough, but I had a nap right before I came on here. And of course, the Middle East is a hot zone. Iran and Israel are tossing missiles at each other. Oh, Don likes to talk about the Elephant Man, John Merrick. All right. King Leopold. Leopold is... Okay. King Leopold was the uncle of both Queen Victoria and Prince Albert. He was Marie Antoinette's brother. Okay, I don't remember what he did politically that was good. Something to do with a spat between two other countries in Europe. Phil was suspicious of Lem. Originally, Lem promised actual money for solar lottery, and then after the deal was done, Lem said, well, we can't get hard currency. You'll have to accept 750 zlotys. Well, there was no exchange rate because you couldn't exchange Polish money for American money because Polish money was communist. You know, it was still part of the Soviet Union. And Lem said, well, why don't you fly to Poland and spend it here? And I don't remember exactly what a zloty was worth, but you couldn't even get a round trip airfare, not even on Aeroflot, the Soviet airline, for 750 zlotys. It was probably around $50 American, except you couldn't get American money with zlotys. Hi, Jason. Kave is Jason. Oh, the full audio book of Radio Free Albemuth is finally up on YouTube. That's good to know. Philip, we couldn't travel at all. We were constantly ducking the landlady because we couldn't pay the rent. No, Phil finally instructed the publisher to donate the money to the Warsaw Volunteer Fire Department, and The Warsaw Fire Department was actually Catholic monks. He thought that was pretty good revenge. Donate, make a communist country, donate to the Catholic Church. I don't know what Phil thought of Delaney's Dahlgren. No kidding. Artists, actors, authors, the very, very few make millions, but most have to, work a day job and do their art in their spare time. Yes, science fiction writers, at least in our time, were treated better in France, but Phil did not want to live in France. Couldn't speak the language and really couldn't interact socially with people he couldn't talk to. He thought they were rude, but from what I've been told or learned from documentaries, Americans are rude to the French. But yeah, we got most of the money he earned while we were married came from France, not the. He'd get like royalties from Doubleday of $20, and then a French translation would pay him $1,000. Of course, he'd get an advance, usually about $1,500 when he sold a book to Doubleday, and then maybe $500 for the paperback a year later. But the French translations sold really well and paid really well. I've never been to France. I've never been anywhere. When I was about 14, I went on a day trip to Mexicali, which is right on the southern border of California. I took my son to a convention in Seattle so he could present the Philip K. Dick Award. But all we saw was the airport and the hotel. And one time we went across the street to a mini mart to get some food because we couldn't afford to eat at the hotel. Hey, Philip has been to Canada, eh? The farthest east I've been is Colorado. We landed at Denver and drove to Fort Morgan to see Phil's grave and attend the Philip K. Dick Festival. Oh, and by we, I mean me and my friend Brenda. My son is a private person, very private. Doesn't want any spotlights on him. To him, Philip K. Dick was dad, not this great science fiction writer. He was dad. What's that song? I've never been to heaven, but I've been to Arizona. You're making me think of that, Angus. Oh, Dawn's been to D.C. I've never been there, and I have no plans to go to D.C. for any reason. Yeah, I'm sure New England is quite different from Southern California, but Northern California is like a different country. I've spent enough time up there. I have family members who have lived there. My sister's still in San Jose. My brother Rick, who died, um, spent some time in Napa and some time in Glen Ellen, and some time in a small, a town that was basically three houses and a vineyard. I think it was um, Oakville, just a few miles north of Yountville. And no well, very few subways in California. We have one that goes under San Francisco Bay, apparently. What are you cats doing? Knock it off, you cats. They're making noises in the kitchen. There's, I gotta check out. What are you doing? Which cat are you? Tora, what are you doing? Yeah, knock it off. Tora's a good kitty. I don't have to worry too much about her. Smokey's the destructive one. Let me make sure my modem has battery. Yeah, it's time to plug it in to the charger or we'll everything. Um, I think maybe Tora was just trying to get my attention. Okay, you sit there. Ooh, Jason has been to the National Archives. All right, let me spoil the kitties. I fed you today. Hang on, Tora. All right, let's go. Oh, you guys ate all the kibble? All of it? Come on, move it over. Why do cats think that it's a good idea to get in front of the human and stop? And like that's going to get them their food faster. When I can't get to their dish, there. Kibble and canned food. Yes, Tora, you're special. Well, isn't that special? Smokey, that's Tora's dish. Yeah, you go eat with the other cats. This one's Tora's. I'll be back. I gotta throw this in the trash. Hi, sweetie. Okay. Ah, everyone should have cats. Just when you think you don't have no reason to live, you realize that the cat is making demands again. Mm. Whew. I could easily go back to sleep. Oh well. If I go to bed before midnight, I end up getting up at like 5 or 6 in the morning. Sheesh. At least it isn't so darn cold now. But they claim that it will be in about a week, maybe less. April showers bring May flowers, but it rained so much in February and March that flowers kept trying to bloom. Dawn has a 20-year-old tuxedo cat. Well, my sweetie's only 16, but she's a black and white tuxedo kitty. Oh, Lord. Anyway, I was listening to an audiobook of Mrs. Polyfax. Uh, Not so much murder as spies, stories about spies. And I'm certain that in some of these books, the authors lifted entire scenes, entire chapters from Agatha Christie. But the more I listen to Agatha Christie's um, audiobooks of her lesser known stories, the ones without Poirot or Miss Marple, I realized that Agatha Christie lifted entire scenes out of Sherlock Holmes. Well, Mrs. Polyfax is on YouTube. I don't, I don't buy things on Audible. I try to avoid buying things because I'm always broke, Philip. But first, I saw the movie of The Unexpected Mrs. Polyfax. There's two of them, and I like the earlier one. I think it's oh heck, the actress from Murder She Wrote also played the saucy maid in Gaslight. Why am I blanking on her name? Angela Lansbury, thank you. I have such smart people in chat. I give vague clues and they come up with the words and names I get blank on. Well, for example, there's an Agatha Christie novel, well, short novel, I guess, in which they're in the Middle East and the main character is stranded and kidnapped and locked up in what appears to be a old monastery that isn't really inhabited, and then she walks to escape and ends up at a camp where these archaeologists are digging for artifacts. And the same thing happens in one of the Mrs. Polifax novels, and it's the same building, the same landscape, the same archaeological dig. I'm like, you copied her. And I don't remember which scenes Agatha Christie copied from Sherlock Holmes, but I've noticed several. Well, these were so close, even word for word in some cases, that nowadays somebody would get sued for plagiarism. Oh, Angus says Cormac McCarthy said books are made from other books. Well, some authors get away with outright theft by saying inspired by instead of I copied it. Phil had original ideas, but sometimes he cannibalized his own stories, quite often, in fact. Like his story, The Defenders, became the novel, The Penultimate Truth. They end differently, but they're really the same story. Kind of reminds me of that movie Clue. Originally, there were 3 versions of the movie Clue, and each one had a different ending. But then they made a 4th one where they show you all 3 endings in one movie. Oh, and I saw a really great spoof called Murder by Death. It's kind of it's kind of like Agatha Christie's 10 Little Indians, which is also called And Then There Were None, but it has all these famous fictional detectives. It has the Thin Man and Charlie Chan and I'm trying to remember. Is this the one? Yeah, it has Miss Marple. And who else? Well, anyway, but the host at the house where they're all lured to come to this house, the host is played by Gore Vidal, I think. Wait a minute. Is Gore Vidal or... Wait a minute. I'm not sure I got that right. No, it's Truman Capote. I knew that was wrong. It was Truman Capote playing the host, Lionel Twain. And Alec Guinness plays the butler. Wow. Anyway, good movie. Oh, old-time radio downloads.com. Yeah, apparently Phil wrote some radio shows. Oh. Jason says when he was in 12th grade, his creative writing teacher hated everything he wrote. So he plagiarized a story by Ray Bradbury, and the teacher gave him a D-. Ray Bradbury is a very special man. I wish I'd been able to meet him. But that never happened. But everyone who did know him says he was a wonderful person. Oh, huh. I did meet a wonderful person and writer, Ted Sturgeon. I sort of met Harry Harrison, author of Make Room, which became Soylent Green. We were at the Nebula Awards and going up to his hotel room because the people I was with wanted me to meet him. And he was on his way out the door because he had to go. I don't know if it was give a speech or participate in a panel or what, but he was in a real hurry. And he thought, oh no, I've been ambushed by fans. So he explained he was in a hurry and didn't have time. So I just said, okay, go ahead. I'm just not one to be awed by celebrity anyway. And I got to spend some time with his wife in the hotel room. She offered me a cocktail, but I was too young to drink and I didn't want to anyway. So I just had a glass of V8, which is basically tomato juice. Well, he actually won the Nebula Award, or was it the Oscar? Not Oscar. What am I saying? He won some award for that novel, Make Room. But that year, Arthur C. Clarke won the Nebula. Anyway, I was awed by Robert Heinlein, not because he was an author, but because of what kind of person he was. Well, welcome in, Freeman. What am I doing up this late? Well, I woke up from a nap, an unintentional nap. I fell asleep listening to an audiobook, and there was this message, a YouTube message from Dawn saying, asking, are you going on live tonight? So I thought, what the heck, I'll go on live. Freeman says the only celebrity he's ever been starstruck for was Sean Connery. Oh, yeah. Yeah, Heinlein's writing was much more traditional. It didn't even have to be science fiction. I mean, it was, but he could just as easily have left out the science fiction aspects and still been an accomplished traditional author. Well, Heinlein worked in, I forget what they call it, but the Navy. He was in the Navy and he worked for naval intelligence, and so did his wife. He didn't talk about that publicly. Oh, yeah, everyone loves Sean Connery's voice. We don't care what he looks like or how he acts. All he has to do is talk. He could read the phone book, and women would swoon. I don't know what they called it in the during the Cold War, Philip. I just don't know. uh, but yeah, I got to see Heinlein's house inside and out. He really did have a huge iron fence around his property with a electric gate and a call box. One time the IRS came out to talk to him and he refused to let them in. He says, "I'm busy, I'm writing." "Well, we tried to call you and you didn't answer the phone." And Heinlein told them, "That's right, I'm busy writing. I don't have time to talk on the phone." He was very proud of the fact that he locked out the IRS agents, wouldn't let them in. And he had a cat. Big, fluffy orange tomcat. And that cat was huge and sweet. I got to pet the cat. Don says he likes Finding Forrester, The Name of the Rose, The Untouchables, and Indiana Jones. Oh, The Name of the Rose is an awesome movie. And it's a book, too. But I never actually read the book. Yeah, Umberto Eco. That's right, Angus. He wrote The Name of the Rose. Back when movie theaters had matinees, where like at the time a regular ticket was $6, but the matinee was $1.50. I watched The Fugitive 12 times, but since I thought 13 was lucky, I went to a video rental place and bought a used tape of the movie so I could watch it again. And yeah, I know it didn't have Sean Connery, but it had what's his name? Uh, the Blade Runner star, the Indiana Jones star. I always want to say carpenter, but that was his profession. That's what he was doing before he became an actor. Yeah, Harrison Ford. He wanted to be an actor, but he ended up working as a carpenter on the set. Yeah, Han Solo, Philip. Anyway, and actually, I was more impressed by Tommy Lee Jones. Harrison Ford's role was basically run, run, grin, run, run, grin, run, run, grin. Apparently, as a person, Tommy Lee Jones is an asshole. That's what they say. Freeman says you'll laugh, you'll cry, you'll kiss $3 goodbye. Uh, oh, Angus likes books with monks or priests or rabbis as heroes. They can be good, moral, mentally disciplined heroes. There's some shows on YouTube like Father Brown Mysteries and Cadfile is awesome. This medieval monk named Cadfile grows an herb garden and solves murder mysteries. During the time when, I think it's during the time when Stephen and Queen Maud were at war in England. Don likes cowboys like John Wayne and Clint Eastwood. Yeah, I do too. That's interesting, Angus. Uh, he got Harrison Ford got his role in American Graffiti through Nick Vanoff. Harrison was doing work on his kitchen cabinets, I guess Nick's kitchen cabinets, and Nick told him about the Lucasfilm audition. And Angus also adds it was not his first film, but it brought him to Lucas's attention. Yeah, he was an actor, but not um, not successful until American Graffiti. Oh, Philip likes Will Rogers. Yeah, had great humor. Don likes John Huston movies. Now, I think John Huston is the one who people would try to interview him and he just wouldn't. He wouldn't be really mean, but he'd give one word answers. He just didn't enjoy being interviewed or talking about his work. Great director, though. Angus says his dad did work on Nick's properties in the 80s, and Nick told Angus's dad the story about Harrison Ford. Freeman, yeah, you shouldn't have watched that movie. I don't think I've seen Will Rogers in movies, but he was great on the radio. Radio in his time was what TV became in the 60s. Well, okay. I don't really know a lot about movies, directors, and actors. even though I took a few film courses, including making a movie in college. Oh, Dawn's favorite Kubrick movie is Full Metal Jacket. I actually haven't seen it, but sometimes it comes up as an answer in trivia or crossword puzzles or trivia games. Freeman says somebody's restaurants are disgusting. Oh, somebody's brother's restaurants. I don't know whose brother has restaurants. Oh, Dr. Strangelove. That was good movie. Oh, Freeman is confusing Will Rogers and Roy Rogers. Okay, Will Rogers was a humorist. Roy Rogers, well, had a TV show every week. I think Saturday mornings when I was a kid. Roy Rogers and Dale Evans. Let me see. I was going to look up something. Uh, oh, oh well. The more I learn about cooking, the more I think, oh, blanking on names I know. Let's see. I can even picture the guy. Here we go. Gordon Ramsay. His success is more about his showmanship than his food. Freeman, nobody's deleting your posts. I see your posts. Oh, boy. Why am I up at 20 past 11? Oh, because I slept from 6 p.m. to 9:30. Freeman once ate at a Gordon Ramsay restaurant and it was terrible. I believe it. Oh, Angus ate chocolate, so now he's too wired to sleep. Yeah, celebrity chefs. They're glitz and glamour. I like our local cafe, even though they make mistakes. They're about the food. For example, my son took me to lunch there when he came to visit, and he got the fried fish fillets. There's a word for that, but it's late at night. You know, fish that's breaded and fried. Um, and one of the two fish fillets was overcooked. And they have no idea what chicken piccata really is. Uh, they cook a chicken breast without slicing it to make two thin pieces, and they put uh, lemon curd on top. It's not how you make chicken piccata, but it's good. It just isn't the real thing, but it's tasty. And they do add the, oh, what are those things called? I always blank on them. The little green things. Capers, thank you, Angus. Oh, Angus is up at 2:30 in the morning. What are you doing up? I'm going to have to make chicken piccata. You slice the breast sideways into two thin scallops and you cook, or you bread it and brown it, and then you cook it in the sauce, which is made with lemon juice. And I forget what else is in it. I'll have to watch Chef Jean Pierre make it again. Oh, good night, Angela. Get some sleep. It would be 2:30 in Pennsylvania as well. It's North Carolina. Yeah. And this is the insomnia edition. Angus loves Italian food, but likes to get away from the marinara all the time. Loves Alfredo, cream sauces, etc. Yeah, I get tired of the tomato sauces in Italian food, except for lasagna. I never met Spider Robinson, Freeman. I don't think Phil knew him. I met Terry Carr and the other guy at the same time. Who was the other guy? I can't remember names worth beans. But I got kind of tired of meeting Phil's male friends because I would learn that Phil had had affairs with their wives. He was not capable of being faithful. Don doesn't like Alfredo sauce, really. Doesn't dislike it. Well, apparently, Alfredo sauce does not have cream in it. It's basically butter and pasta water and cheese. But I'm an American. I put cream in it. Freeman never gets tired of tomato sauce. Yeah, Terry Carr was quite often Phil's editor. Phil says that Terry Carr changed the title of his novel to The Crack in Space. Phil called it Cantata 140, a Bach cantata called Wachet auf, Wake Up, or in most English translations, they call it Sleepers Awake. Okay. Maybe another cigarette will help me stay awake. Now the cigarette is what's making me cough. Have to admit it when it's true. Now, I know that the Olive Garden is not real Italian, but their food tastes good, so it's okay. And they give you free breadsticks. And they use lots of garlic. Apparently, Italians do not put garlic in everything. But garlic, for me, is what MSG is for Asian cuisine. It makes everything taste good. Yes, Angus, Olive Garden is anything but authentic, but it's good food. Mm. And I had one time, I was actually given a free dinner for two in exchange for my honest review at a place called Brio Tuscan Grill. That's BRIOTUS Tuscan Grill. There's one in, well, nearby. I forget which town. But it's a chain. And most of their food is actually kind of TV dinners. It arrives frozen and they heat it up for you. But it's good. And I've asked the chef, what do you do if you get a special order? And he says, we can't fill it. The food is what it is. But their food is beautiful and delicious, and the service, man, that's the real reason to go to a restaurant, as long as the food is good, is the service. It's incredible. And the atmosphere. It's clean but warm and friendly. And the lighting is good so you can see your food. Good night, Jason. I don't blame you for going to bed. It's late. Freeman says Witta and Freeman found me a video and posted it on Messenger. Yeah, I think I saw the link, but I think it's something I've watched before. You know, that was hours ago. I don't remember today or yesterday. I think it was today. Gonna turn yourselves into cats for 10 hours a day and come live in my attic? I don't have an attic. I have a sort of an attic, but it isn't real, and it's like 6 inches deep and 20 feet long and 4 feet wide, and it's just to carry away the steam from the shower in the bathroom. Okay, I lost track of what Dawn. Dawn says something is with Mexican cooks. Oh, Olive Garden, I guess. Well, some of the best food I've had has been at little hole in the wall restaurants. You know, they have a teeny tiny space to work in and only a couple tables, but they're really into their cooking. Like pizza. I'm not really into pizza, but at the little hole in the wall that was actually in the basement on a street in Hollywood, oh, it was awesome. And then there was a little tiny narrow space in a strip mall that had Mexican food, and oh my, they had applesauce that was definitely actually made on site with chunks of apple. Oh my lord. Well, Olive Garden will give you free breadsticks with any meal. And when there's a long time to wait before you're seated, they'll give breadsticks to the people who are waiting. And there is something about having really good, chunky applesauce with your Mexican cuisine. It really hits the spot. Oh, Angus went to an Olive Garden in Culver City. Had to wait half an hour after being seated for the waiter. Wow. Yeah, they go through streets where they're so popular. You can't get seated or you can't get service, but you don't want to go somewhere else. Freeman says Olive Garden is upscale McDonald's. No, it's actually better than McDonald's. My water's empty. Once in a great while, I'll get a fillet of fish, but McDonald's is not what it used to be. Used to be pretty good food. Let me get my water refilled. What are you doing? Oh, never mind. Cats. Ah. Dum de dum, dum de dum de dum, dum de dum, dum de dum de dum. Eye patches. You're in the doghouse, you cat. You clawed me. Oh, the cat didn't do anything. It was an optical illusion, Freeman. I thought the cat was. See, my door is all glass like a giant window. And I thought the cat was trying to squeeze under the door, but it was actually the light and shadow hitting the floor. It wasn't a cat at all. Oh man. Now I'm jonesing for garlic. Garlic spaghetti. Um, I had it for a short time, an Italian friend who would cook garlic spaghetti. I think she made it right. Can't swear to it. It's been too many years. I did not hear Billy Joel's new song. Anyway, I've always considered his songs easy listening. They aren't bad, but although for a while he was doing ballads, back I think that would have been in the 80s. It's called Turn the Lights Back On. Okay. I'm going to have to turn in pretty soon. I'm starting to nod off. Oh, wow. And it's actually a little chilly. Well, didn't he write Piano Man? Piano Man is a good song. Play me a tune, you're the piano man. Can't remember the words now. Well, Dawn, I'm glad I made somebody's night. He used to be metal? Okay. Yeah, I gotta convince Patches that the blanket is mine. Then Tutu will sit on me and keep me warm all night. He was in a metal band before he went solo. Okay. I kind of like some metal, heavy metal, rock. Okay. I am definitely nodding off. Hi, Oswald. Yeah, well, we've just been whiling away a couple hours. An hour and 48 minutes so far. Yeah, that's right, Freeman. We're all in the mood for a melody, and you've got us feeling all right. Oh, Uptown Girl. I like, oh, come on. The version by what's his name? Oh, the British guy whose voice broke and then he became famous. Uh, Oswald says he and Waxy are going to start the first Dickie and metal band. Of course, Waxy will be on keyboard and vocals. Yeah, where has Waxy been? No, not Weird Al. Um, he was in a band and he went solo. His voice broke from singing too much. I, I, I can picture him, but I can't think of a name. Criminy. British singers. Oh, I get to choose male, female, or bands. Not getting anywhere near. There must be millions of them, Google's. giving me millions. Rod Stewart. Rod Stewart did a really great rendition of Uptown Girl. Oh, Angus. In high school, they made you watch the video for We Didn't Start the Fire because it was educational. I only saw We Didn't Start the Fire in a college show where, of course, it was college students playing the parts of Gracie Slick and whoever. Once a band has Gracie Slick, you don't care who the rest of them are. But Phil used to say that Gracie Slick was going to ruin her voice with those high notes. Don loved Simon and Garfunkel. Yeah, they were great together. And then, oh, White Rabbit, yeah. I'm trying to think of the one. We built this city. We built this city on rock and roll. That was also Gracie Slick. See, I say Gracie because it's too hard to pronounce two S's together. Grace Slick. If you say it fast, it sounds nasty. Yeah, Jefferson Airplane and later Jefferson Starship. Well, anyway, I am really nodding off bad, so let's do the usual. Sign off. Thank you all for listening and have a great Sunday. Hooey. And thank you all for popping in. I'm amazed to get so many listeners in the middle of the night. Awesome. You guys are the best. Good night.